It's real breakfast hours. Eat breakfast if you up.
Today's breakfast is... I had a blueberry bagel with cream cheese and a little watermelon on the side.
I had a sausage, egg, and cheese on a blueberry bagel with some coffee and orange juice.
Welcome back to another episode of Real Breakfast Hours.
Episode 4.
Eat breakfast if you up.
You better be eating breakfast. You better be sending us pictures of your breakfast. I feel like we've been getting in fact, I know for a fact we've been getting the same people submitting breakfast, which I very much appreciate, but some variety would be nice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. My friends, if you're watching this, his friends are totally beating you guys right now. They are watching, they're telling us about things, they're reacting. Radio silence for my friends, honestly. No breakfast. No, oh, I liked when you talked about this. I mean, his friend sends us memes.
Yeah, we could probably pull this one up in editing, but he made a meme of like SpongeBob yelling like, "I love real breakfast hours!" Or something. It's pretty good. And speaking of which, our friend Crollo, who I believe was in episode 2, he had submitted his breakfast. Oh, the cat is making noise. He's coming.
He has something to say, I guess.
Oh, hi, buddy.
Pick him up. Would you like to be part of the episode?
What did you have for breakfast today, Rob?
Put him up. Let him talk. Let the man speak.
Speak your truth. I had wet food and kibble.
Why'd you make him southern?
I was mostly just whispering into the microphone, but he would have a Maine accent, so why don't you speak for him?
What is like the
I don't know,
the down east accent where they're like replace all the A sounds with R's and the R sounds with A's?
Yeah, sort of something like that, which is vaguely reminiscent of like a Boston accent.
Yes.
Your parents for Christmas got me a shirt for the New England Patriots, which we can talk about that a little bit later, but they got me a Patriots t-shirt for Christmas, which I very much appreciated. But it says "Wicked Winners" on it. It's got the Patriots head and the old New England accent, which I don't think either of us have a accent per se, but it was funny.
But some people do.
I've met them. They do. Byra, thanks for interrupting my bit where I was saying Crollo sent us his breakfast again. And we're going to have to edit this one in, but it's scrambled eggs and turkey breast on a plain bagel with a lemonade vitamin water. You can kind of see in the background of that image. So
it's pretty good. Thank
you, Crollo. We very much appreciate your continued contribution to Real Breakfast Hours.
Yeah, and so for my friends, you guys are behind the ball or whatever.
Behind the curve.
Behind the curve.
You want to talk about some stuff that we did this week?
Oh, what we did this week? Yeah. So, well, it's been a busy week for me. I had a test on Friday that was pretty stressful. I had some school-related stress things with plans not going as I expected. So I had a stressful week basically and a busy week. And I haven't been able to do a lot of free time, fun stuff. So I'm really looking forward to tonight. My school is having what we usually call it Prom, because it's the College of Osteopathic Medicine and it's basically like a prom, but this time it's supposed to be the interprofessional gala because the other professional students like the dentists and the PA students were able to come as well and like they could buy tickets. But from what I heard yesterday in my anatomy lab, I think only like 17 people that are not medical students bought tickets, so it's basically still prom. You
say 17 like it's a small number. How big of an event?
There was like 300 tickets or something sold.
Sheesh.
So like it's a pretty small number in comparison.
Also, I don't think we ironed this out earlier. Am I doing the unbuttoned top thing, or am I gonna see if I have a tie that matches your dress?
Well, if you have a tie that matches my dress, I think you gotta go with that.
And if I don't, would you rather I went out and bought one?
If we have time, but not if it's like super expensive.
It's just a tie.
I don't know how expensive ties are.
It shouldn't be a big deal. I'm sure it'll be okay.
Right. Well, we'll see. But it's okay if if we can't find one or you don't have one.
Find one of those $200 Gucci ties, or a Supreme
tie. Yeah,
that'd be pretty.
That'll
funny.
really pull the outfit together. I gotta see if I have shoes that will match, because otherwise I'm gonna have to look for like some heels or something.
Unprepared as you can see that we are.
I did get a dress though. That was expensive.
And I do have a tux.
Yeah.
I have a blue suit and then like a black tux, but whatever is necessary, I will wear.
It's gonna be so fun. There's dinner there and a cash bar, and we're gonna have a good time. Ooh, ooh.
Ooh. She's very excited.
Yes.
I'm just happy she's happy.
Well, cause like it's kind of, we met in college, so we didn't get prom experiences. Last year my sorority had a formal, so we went to that. So I was kind of like it. But this is like I think this is even more formal, so I think it's more like close to it maybe.
I took your sorority formal thing as the equivalent of if we had gone to prom, but
well, it's like junior year prom. This is about to be senior year prom.
I don't think most schools even have a senior year prom. I think most high schools just do junior prom.
No, I think it's mostly senior year prom, and then some do junior prom.
I'm gonna have to challenge you. You've seen those commercials when you watch the football games where they're like, this is what really happened replay. I'm gonna look it up if it's senior or junior prom.
It's definitely senior because like it's the end of your high school career. Like prom is like huge. But my school, we had junior and senior prom because we were a really small school.
Let's see. Prom is for juniors.
No way.
Yes. Proms are commonly known...
No, it says junior, senior prom.
Yes. Conversely, if a high school has separate dances for juniors and seniors, the term prom is reserved for the juniors.
That's weird. A graduation ball? I've literally never heard of that in my entire
my high school
life.
Only had junior prom, but a lot of people had senior, like girls especially, would have like a senior as a boyfriend, and they would be there.
That's so weird to me because I've literally only ever heard of like senior prom. Or like, well, just prom, but like seniors were the ones that went. Unless you had like you were bringing an underclassman. So at my school, we had it for both juniors and seniors because it was a small school. And then some people were like freshmen and they had a date or a friend that was a senior or a junior that brought them. Yeah, we won't talk about that.
I didn't go to junior prom, I didn't go to prom when I was a junior. I just didn't feel like none of my friends really went. But when I was a senior, me and all my friends were dating junior girls, so we all went to that prom. Mm-hmm. Yes. Shout out to everyone involved in that story. You know who you are.
Well, I went junior and senior year. I didn't go the other years because no one asked me that was a junior or senior. But, yeah, it was fun. And I kind of slayed it, to be honest. I had great dresses both times.
I'm sure you looked fantastic.
It looked so good. Junior year was, like, Great Gatsby themed. And absolutely, I had, like, a very on-theme outfit. In fact, me and my date, we won, like, for the best, like, most on-theme. So, I take it seriously. I'm good with it, you know? I take pride in my outfits for fancy events, and this time it's gonna be good too. Maybe we'll throw in pictures from tonight.
I'm sure we'll take some.
It's gonna be good.
So, depending on when the editing occurs. Well, yeah, actually, that's a good point. Normally, she does most of the editing, if not all of the editing, in fact. So I don't know when the editing for this one's gonna get done. Often she does it after dinner, before bed. Sometimes into the wee hours of the morning. She'll be editing to try to get this uploaded on Sunday morning, so you guys can have it with your breakfast, as God intended.
It still has not happened for the past few because I've been using Final Cut Pro because I got it for Christmas and I was very excited because I thought it would give me more opportunities and ability to edit the way I want and like do more fancy editing than I was doing I was using Movavi for my other videos for a long time. And probably just like iMovie before that, I don't know. But it's good for editing. Like I do think I prefer it for the editing process, but it takes so much longer and I have so much more trouble uploading or like sharing it. Because what I do is I share it to an MP4 format because I guess from what I've heard, like YouTube prefers that format over the MOV. And so I have to share it to that, like kind of exporting it. And then once I have the file, then I can go on to YouTube and I can upload that. Now I could just go from Final Cut Pro and upload to YouTube from there, but I've heard that is like takes longer, and plus I kind of like being able to do it in the YouTube, not app, but like on the website, so I can like add the thumbnail right when I'm doing that. Make sure the description looks how I want it to. Like, I think you just don't, it's not as easy to do all that when you're going from Final Cut Pro, and I don't think you can choose the thumbnail on that. So that's how I do it. But Final Cut Pro has been really giving me a hard time the last 2 real breakfast hours of editing, or not editing, but getting it uploaded. The first time was because my storage was like getting full, and that's why it was like, it kept trying
because
to,
it
and then it would
itself,
stop.
Doesn't it? Like, it saves.
It saves like every single frame that you edit, and I think even beyond that, like you get literally 200 gigabytes of.
How is that?
I don't know.
There's got to be a setting on. That's such a high volume.
No, literally, that's how. But if you look up online, people like that's how Final Cut Pro is, because it like saves all this stuff. So at the end of your project, like your project file, not the like the actual video, like that comes out to usually like 9, 14 gigs, whatever, just because they're longer.
It couldn't possibly be gigs. You mean megabytes, right?
No, Mike, I will literally show you. The project itself, like Real Breakfast Hours 3, was like 13 gigs.
That's ridiculous. It's
because it's like a few hours long. Yeah. Well, it's 1 hour plus, but anyways, that's not even the problem. The problem is that the like editing stuff in Final Cut Pro, however the software works, it makes it such a like it literally, the file project event or whatever they call it will be like 200 gigabytes. So every time I have to upload it, export it, and then I immediately like delete the like event or like the editing stuff, because I obviously in my computer I'm not gonna have a bunch of 200 gigabyte things in there. Like I only have probably, I don't know my storage. I think it's like 500 gigs, but... Yeah,
I was going to say, because a Call of Duty game is 100 gigabytes on my PS5, for example. So it's mind-blowing to me that the entirety of Call of Duty is smaller than a Real Breakfast Hours. That's nonsense. That couldn't possibly be right.
Like, not the actual video, but the event in Final Cut Pro, because of how... it like makes proxy media, and then it like saves every like frame. I don't know the exact science behind it, but like literally you can look it up online, because I looked it up too, and people were like, yeah, it whatever it does when you're editing is like heavy duty stuff. Jeez. So I have to delete it after. But so the first time it was that I didn't realize it was going to be that big, and the first one I hadn't deleted, and I just like had run out of space on my thing. But then after that, you know, I've been going back, and I made sure I had enough space. Like I had like 200 gigs free plus when I was done editing Real Breakfast Hours 3. So it theoretically, like when it exports, that's only like a 13 gigabyte export. Like I have space for it, so that was not the issue. But it kept saying that like some file was corrupted or something, which I would go through and like nothing looked corrupted. So I think, I don't know what happened, but basically I just, every time I would go, and then it would get to like 30%, and I would be in the other room, I don't know, and then it would say, it would stop, and it'd be like, oh, it failed because something is like corrupted. But then what I basically ended up doing was, in the morning when I got up, I like closed the app and I reopened it, because it like automatically saves itself, and then I retried, and then it worked. So obviously the file itself was not corrupted. I don't know what happened. Something, I don't know. But so that happened last time, and that's why it wasn't up until like noon. Plus it took a while uploading to actual YouTube. But hopefully this time it will go off without a hitch.
One can only hope. But anyway, that was only even brought up because I had mentioned that normally she edits at night, but we're going to be at this prom thing tonight, so I don't know when she's going to get a chance to do the editing, but hopefully this will go up reasonably soon. What else? So that's you and tonight.
Yep.
Right? Also, let's put that do not disturb on. Last episode, at some point when she was talking, her phone was blowing up, and I just kind of reached over and put her do not disturb on in the middle of the episode.
Well, you did it when I went up and changed the thing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't notice until after.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my phone's always in silent. I think yours vibrates even when it's on silent, right?
Yeah.
Mine doesn't do that.
Because I like feeling it. Like, I like knowing if someone's...
Yeah, but the vibration is so loud, you'd probably have to turn the intensity down. If my phone's on silent, I don't want to know that I have a phone. Anyway, one of my first talking point here is... It's the football section, baby. Tom Brady officially retiring. For real this time. Never gonna happen again. Hopefully he actually does retire this time. Though he spoke to, or rather, Robert Kraft was on a CNN interview just maybe 2-3 days ago, and he talked with them for a while, and this man was, first of all, dripping. While they had him up on the big old projector on the side, you got your 2-3 CNN analysts, news people, whatever, on the desk, and then you have this big wall where they've got Robert Kraft on Zoom or Skype or something. Probably not Discord, but more than likely Zoom. And he's got like all of his Super Bowl trophies just behind him. It'd be like if we were talking to the camera right now and you just saw a bunch of Super Bowl trophies behind me and I didn't even mention them. They just sat there intimidating you, the viewer. It was very drippy. I gotta give that to him. For an old man, that was style. Drip. But while he was there, he had said that he loves Tom Brady and is happy for him and all that stuff. But he wants Tom to sign a 1-day contract so that he can technically be a New England Patriot again before he retires from the NFL officially, which I think is a fantastic idea. Big Patriots fan over here.
And big Brady fan.
And it's the same thing. You don't grow up in New England in the 2000s and not be a Tom Brady fan on the New England Patriots. Dude is like royalty around here. Everybody in the YouTube comments of that post, or excuse me, of that CNN video, was saying that they want him to come back and then retire so that we can have like a parade for him, which would be funny and probably would happen. I know that they had a big old parade in Tampa when the Buccaneers won, and I had mentioned to you earlier that it was funny seeing Tom on his boat with the Super Bowl trophy, and there's footage of him like kissing the thing and then throwing it to Gronk, who was on a different boat, and everybody online was losing their minds about, oh my god, he's treating the trophy with such disrespect. But homie, he's got approximately 6 of those. I don't actually know if he gets to keep the trophy in his house or not, but he's got enough where it's not special anymore. When you have the one trophy, it goes in a glass case. Nobody can touch it. You gotta polish the thing every weekend. Those things are collecting dust in his house right now, so he doesn't care if he hawks one across the boat. To
just
Gronk.
like kids.
Just like your first kid, don't even look at him. Nobody go near him. If you're on kid number 6, bro, an anvil could fall on that little guy, and you'd be like, oh, he's fine, I'll walk it off.
The other kids are taking care of him.
Yeah, the other
You
kid.
don't even know his name.
Yeah. Oh, that's Thom. But I would imagine that he's a little more loose with trophies number 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. And if I were him, I definitely would have been drunk at that point. So, but yeah, please come back to New England, Tom, just for a day. You have always been a New England Patriot, and you will always be remembered as a New England Patriot. So you might as well retire as one. Yeah. Super Bowl, not tomorrow, the following Sunday. Eagles, Chiefs. I don't really care about either of those teams, but Patrick Mahomes is in all those State Farm commercials, which is kind of funny. So go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. I don't know. I'm like disappointed about it. To be honest, I'm not a huge football person, of course, but I was really rooting for the 49ers after the Titans and the Patriots were out. And then
Brock Purdy, their quarterback. Yeah,
because he was just good, but then he got hurt. And then, okay, see, there was this one girl on TikTok I saw that was like, football is fake. Like, not fake, but like they like rig the NFL and stuff. Yeah, ridiculous. And I've never been like, yeah, that's probably true, until I saw the 49ers game. Was it against the Eagles? Was that who they were against?
No, they're, yes.
49ers against the Eagles. I've never seen people throw a game so hard. I swear to God, how do you get this far into the playoffs and then you're making 1,000,001 penalties? Like, I think that might have been rigged.
We could edit in the video that I posted where there was a 49ers player Because they were in Philadelphia, the announcers even made a joke that he was throwing punches like Rocky Balboa. I'll pull up the meme so I can remember his name. Greenlaw was literally like fists up like this, punching the football while somebody on the Eagles was running with it. So I edited a meme of him.
It's just like so ridiculous. Like how are you a professional football player and like in the playoffs and like you do that? That's what I'm talking about. Like that kind of stuff. I'm like, I didn't think it was rigged before, but that's just who does that?
It's called you are in your mind a Super Bowl caliber team, but you're now on your 4th or 5th quarterback of the year, and you know the game is unwinnable, so you just start doing things. That's why they had so many penalties. That's why they're doing stuff like trying to knock the ball out.
It could have been winnable if they didn't throw so hard.
It wasn't going to happen.
Well, I just think it's very convenient that in this last game, my beautiful underdog quarterback gets hurt, his wrist hurt, and so he can't be in. And then what? The rest of the team just goes, we're throwing.
I believe it was his elbow, actually. What had happened was...
I thought they said it was his elbow or his wrist.
They had initially said wrist when he got taken out.
Yeah.
But upon inspection, I believe they had mentioned it was his elbow. And if you watch the clip, it obviously was his elbow.
Yeah.
He was going to throw the football, and right when he was here, it went... And his arm just like bent completely. I can't even go that far because your arm isn't supposed to go that way. His arm was like completely... It was like this, but going that way.
Eesh.
So... And then he went to the sideline and he told them, I cannot throw the ball. So then they put a backup in, and then the backup got hit in such a way that his head slammed into the ground, who then the people from upstairs and from New York tell him he has to come off the field and be evaluated for a concussion now. So they had no choice but to put Purdy back into the game, who now physically cannot throw the ball. So
they have to keep like sneaking it, basically.
Yeah, just running the ball, handing it off.
Handing it off, yeah.
But there's nothing you could do. And then George Kittle had an interview afterward of another 49ers player, like a superstar for their team. He's very popular, very good. They asked him how he felt about the game, and he said that, how does it feel to lose a championship game because you don't have a quarterback? Pretty bad. Yeah, I would imagine that would be the case.
Yeah.
So, L+ ratio for the 49ers.
I just feel like this year, like, so many people got hurt in football. Like, I feel like multiple teams were on their, like, 3rd or 4th string quarterback and stuff like that.
It's because every year they get a little more strict with the injury rules. And even as recently as the 2000s, you could get hit so hard that your helmet flies off and, like, your head slams into the ground. And you would just get back up, shake yourself off, put your helmet back on, and keep playing. I mean, you saw what happened to Tua Tagovailoa this year. That guy got, like, decapitated on the field almost. Obviously, he was out for a while, but then I'm pretty sure he came back later in the year after a lot of evaluation. But there was not anywhere near this amount of consciousness for the health of the players in previous seasons. So every year they get a little more stringent with it, and that's why you see things like these guys getting taken out. Oh, this team's on their 4th running back. Well, that's because all the other guys' heads hit the ground.
But, like, for the quarterback specifically, like, it's not even that. I mean, if your arm's hurt and you can't throw, you can't throw. That's not, like, it being more stringent. That's, like, literally my wrist or my elbow or whatever is, like, not broken necessarily, but, like, whatever, and now I literally can't throw, or if I do throw, it's either going to really hurt or just be a sucky throw, right? Like,
yeah, but he was already their 3rd or 4th quarterback, which they wouldn't have been in that position.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
the
like,
rules are maybe a little more relaxed. And I don't know the specific injuries of, like, Jimmy Garoppolo, the guy who would have been before him, but I'm just saying, in general, you talk about it feels like there's more injuries. That's because they take the little stuff a lot more seriously than they used to, so to see people actually getting healthy. Whereas before, you might play with a messed up shoulder or something, finish the season, and then your shoulder is messed up for the rest of your life. So they really want to prevent that type of thing.
I see. Well, yeah, I'm mad about that. And also, I don't really like Eagles fans because I think they're too much. So I guess Chiefs, but I don't really like the Chiefs either. So
well, if anybody was going to tear up their city after the Super Bowl, it would be the Eagles.
Exactly.
So
that's why I don't like them.
The cat is staring at something.
He's trying to drink, but his water bowl is empty, basically.
That's what he gets for dragging that thing halfway across the house. When he drinks his water, I've seen other cats do this too, but sometimes it almost looks like they're digging, and he will do that in such a way that he pulls his water bowl with him. And this morning we came down the stairs, and his water bowl must have been 5 feet from where it normally is. He pulled that thing quite a ways.
It's like a little ledge, not like an actual step, but just like it goes a slightly bit up.
That's where the wood touches the tile.
Yeah, from the living room, like where the hardwood is, to the tile in the kitchen. And his bowl is like in the kitchen, but he had pulled it, so it was like halfway, like into the on that ledge.
Yeah, he made quite a bit of progress.
He's sipping right now.
Very thirsty. Then, hi bud. The neighbor has dogs, which is fine. However, I believe, I've never been to their house, but I would argue with you that the dog bed is probably in the room that shares a wall with our bathroom.
Yeah.
Or at least that's where the dog likes to relax. And we can always hear them chewing on toys or scratching at stuff on that side of the wall, which isn't a big deal, except for the fact that we can hear them sometimes, usually in the morning or right before bed, and not for a long period of time. But the cat is always drawn to the sounds, and you'll just see him in the bathroom staring at the wall because there's a squeaky toy being chewed on the other side of it.
Yeah, he knows something's going on over there, but he can't get to it. Megan. Okay. So, last weekend I finished up my diet thing, like the healing phase or whatever of my diet, which was like the really strict one. So then Saturday there's a few things we wanted to do. We went to the movies to see Megan because I've been really, really wanting to see it. The first time I saw the trailer for it was we were in bed. We like to watch YouTube videos before bed, and we were in there, and Mike was like in the bathroom or something, and I see this trailer come on as like an ad before the video I'm setting up for us, and I was like, oh, I was so intrigued. I was like, oh baby. And then I looked it up and made him watch it because it was like funny. But also I was like, this is good.
Should explain what it is for any people who are under a rock or just don't spend enough time online to not know what Megan is.
Okay, Megan is this horror movie. It's not like really a horror movie, but basically there's like this lady who works at some fancy like tech company that they make toys, but they're like really fancy toys. They're like robot toys and things. And then her niece ends up living with her because like her parents get killed.
Yeah. The opening scene of the movie is mom and dad driving in some really snowy conditions, and the daughter is in the backseat with a Furby that talks and poops and stuff.
Yeah.
They can't see, and they stop the car to pull over or try to call their aunt or whatever. And then just a snowplow crashes right into them at full speed and kills her parents.
Yeah. So rip. The niece is an orphan. And the aunt is like she doesn't have kids. She's a career woman.
And she's like 38 years old, no kids, lives alone. She doesn't have a cat though.
Yeah. And so she's like not really sure how to take care of her. Well, I mean, she doesn't take care of her, but she's just not like good at the emotional stuff really. And then she sees like that her niece is struggling, and also there's some weird like social worker that's like, I'm here to check if you're better as the guardian, or if we should send her to her grandparents' house.
You say it's weird as if that's not normal. Some weird social worker. No, this kid just lost her parents. We need to find out, is the aunt a better parent, or is her grandma gonna be? Should we send her to grandma and grandpa's house, or leave her with you?
I just didn't think that was like a thing because obviously she ends up with the aunt because her aunt is like her godmother or something, or like that's what the mom had said like in her thing.
Yes. However, the grandparents also said they would take custody if it didn't work out with the aunt.
Yeah.
So the social worker, like, you can't, if she gets sent to the aunt and the aunt starts hitting her or something, she needs to be taken from her.
Right.
Which is what the social worker is there to see.
Well, anyways, basically, she works at this tech company, and she was already working on this like robot toy thing, and then that's like an actual like looks like a kid. Megan. So cool. She's a girl boss. And then she basically is like, oh, you know what? My niece, because she shows her like her like college thesis like project was a robot.
What was his name? Not Tom. Crap, I can't remember.
She basically finishes the robot and pairs it with her niece Katie, and is like, here you go, and it's like about that and stuff, but like the robot doll murders people sometimes, because her like primary function is to like protect the kid
from physical and emotional harm.
Anyways, I just love Megan. Like, literally this first scene, you see her walk into the house. She's got on like this fancy coat. She's got sunglasses on. She literally like takes them off. That's in the trailer too. But like, literally from the second I saw the trailer, I was like, I love her. She is the moment. She is iconic.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
So basically, I had already made it up in my mind that I was gonna love this movie no matter what. Like, I'm gonna be a Megan stan. Like, if she has 1 million fans, I'm one of them. If she has one, it's me. Like, if she has no fans, I'm dead. Like, I was like, I'm riding for her.
Yeah, she looks like she stepped out of a fashion catalog
for real.
For a handful of scenes in different outfits.
Love her. So I was really excited to see it, and even though like one of my cousins was like, oh, it sucked, I was like, no, I already know it doesn't suck. Like, you're just a hater, or you don't understand what's going on. Like, you don't understand what they're trying to do here.
You don't appreciate cinema.
You don't appreciate cinema. You don't understand camp. Like,
no Kino for you.
I was like, no. I already know. There's no way it sucks. Like, even if it had been bad, I would have been like, no, you don't understand. But it actually wasn't. Like, it was actually good.
It was actually quite enjoyable. And spoiler alert, it wasn't really that gory or anything. Megan did end a few lives, but it wasn't as... It's not like a slasher movie where she pulls up to you with a knife and starts cutting fingers off or anything like that. No. There's no blood splattering all over the camera. In fact, I would even say for a couple of them, the camera, it would show that she's about to kill somebody, and then the camera would pan up, because I think it was a PG-13 movie, right? Yeah,
I think from what I've heard, like, it was either supposed to be R at first, and then like they took out some stuff to make it PG-13, or I think my other cousin said that she had heard that they might add some scenes or like add back scenes that are more gory or something to make it R-rated, which I'll be there if they do. Like I said, Megan stan.
It makes sense though that they would want it to be PG-13 to reach a wider audience, because even if your movie might benefit from having, I mean, you don't need to pull your punches, right? It's literally a movie about a robot that kills people. People are gonna die. You don't need to pan away every time somebody dies. However, you are going to generate more revenue, and a lot of your fans for that type of movie are probably teenagers. Every 15-year-old girl who sees Megan with her sunglasses can't go walk into a rated R movie. So,
but yeah, we went to see it. I loved it. It was so good. I'm still a Megan stan. I always will be. I want one.
You want one?
Yeah, I want one. Like I said, like, she would be my bestie. Like, we would do things. It'd be fine.
You know what? Unlike The Menu, which we watched a week or two ago, which was also good, but it was that one was more of a horror satire. I don't remember if we mentioned it in the last episode. We probably did. But
I don't even know that we did, but yeah.
Regardless, The Menu was good. However, it suffered from, I understand it was more or less trying to make fun of the horror genre. However, a big issue with the horror genre is just the stupidity and the low IQ of many of the people who find themselves in these situations. There's even, I saw a Progressive commercial or something one time where it's like 5 teenagers or 20-somethings, and they're running from some murderer, and they say, oh, we should hide behind the chainsaws. Oh, no, we should try to hide it in the lake. And one of the ones goes, why can't we just get in the running car? And they say, are you crazy?
Yeah.
That's sort of how The Menu feels, where it's 15 people in a room and some psycho chef is trying to kill them all. If all of you just stood up and ran for the door, how is he going to stop you? But only some 75-year-old dude gets up and they grab him, and they take that as, oh, we can't escape. But maybe if you tried a little harder, you could have.
They cut his fingers off or something.
But... Right, but that was only after they grabbed him and got him to the floor, and nobody stood up to help him.
Oh.
Or, yeah, it was very, silly in the way that, wow, you guys could really be doing. I would not have made those decisions, which is narcissistic.
But we also
or whatever,
wouldn't have been there. I think the point about the menu is that these people are so like stuck up and like think so highly of themselves because they're all like rich a-holes that like they're only there to make themselves look good or like flaunt their wealth kind of type stuff, like for the exclusivity. So they're like, oh well, they just like a normal person like you or me would not be there.
It's true. However, if we were there, spoiler alert, some guy steps out in the middle of the movie. They just ate 2 courses of a meal. It's if you've ever been to a really fancy restaurant, they do courses for their meals. One of them, after like the second course, he comes out with a revolver and blows his brains out in front of all of them. And half of the people are like, oh, that's such good acting. You know, the second that happened, we are leaving. And then if I see them barricading the door, maybe we should try to get the gun that is laying on the ground, not sit in my seat and be like, oh my God, we're screwed. Like nobody ran when that guy shot himself. Nobody tried to get the gun to defend themselves. They all just kind of took it, which was mind blowing to me. And I bring this up because Megan wasn't like that. Megan, the characters felt like they were a little more intelligent than Megan. Not all of them, but in general, there was a lot less. Why would you do that in that movie?
Yeah, I didn't really notice any like. I don't think I was questioning like why would you do that kind of stuff. No.
Right, you roll your eyes a lot in other horror movies. No. Megan didn't hit me that way. I thought it was good.
It also like it knew what it was kind of thing, like which is why I think it was good because like with a premise like that you can definitely like overdo it or like take yourself too seriously, but I don't think it did, which is why it worked as well as it did. Yeah,
it was good. Recommend.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable.
So, I'm glad I saw it. And we might go see Skinamarink, which is another horror movie that's out right now. And I actually remember seeing it like on the, whatever you call it, like the screen at the movie theaters.
Previews or the...
No, just like the list of things what they're showing.
Oh yeah, there is a word for that. I just can't think of what it is.
Yeah. Well, I almost said marquee, but that's more like the sign outside.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was on the list of movies they had playing in like the times and everything. And which I thought I had heard of Skinamarink, but I can't remember where I first heard of it. And then, but when I went online later to like look up the trailer, I looked up, I saw the trailer, which I definitely hadn't seen before. So I think I might have seen like something for it on TikTok possibly. But not like the actual trailer. So I looked that up because I really like this other YouTuber, Wendigoon. He makes really good videos. He's done some iceberg ones. He's done like explaining all the different basically political views on like one of those square things, which I love that kind of stuff. So he's really good and he does a really good job with them. He made a video recently explaining Skinamarink. And I love his videos and I'd like to watch it. So basically I was like, okay, well now I kind of want to go see it. Plus from what I've heard, well the trailer is pretty like off-putting but weird. From what I've heard, it's like a pretty experimental horror movie. And I've basically heard people either say that like it was really good and like really had them on the edge of their seat like scared. Or some people are like it's really boring and I feel like I wasted my money. But I kind of feel like maybe those people aren't like super into horror or not as into like different types of horror than others, or maybe they're just used to like the jump scare stuff.
Yeah, slashers and jump scares, a lot of sort of cheap horror, you might call it. Though, from what I've heard of Skinamarink, it's more of a liminal space style horror, which, if you're not sure what a liminal space is, to my understanding, it's basically anything that doesn't follow standard physics of how you might explore an area. When you're inside your house, you have doors, windows, stairs. If you go out your front door, you're in your front yard. If you open a window and go through the window, you're literally just on the other side of the window. If you go up the stairs, now you're upstairs. Very obvious. But in a liminal space, somewhere that doesn't follow Euclidean geometry, you might go out your front door and end up in the basement. You might go up the stairs but you end up back at the bottom of them. It's just a place that it messes with your mind, and it can be scary because you don't know what's around any corner. You can't even trust where you've been, because how are you going to get where you're going if where you've been has changed?
Yeah. Would you say that like the backroom stuff is like it's liminal?
Yes, the back rooms is a liminal space. Yeah. If you are a fan of art, like MC Escher, for example, you could argue that's a liminal space. You go up the stairs, now you're on the ceiling and you're upside down, that type of thing. It's just, if it doesn't follow traditional geometry, you could argue that it's a liminal space.
Yeah, and from what there's like one sentence description of it is that like these kids wake up in the middle of the night and their dad's missing and they don't have any windows or doors in their house. So.
Yeah, it's probably just all hallways and bedrooms that all connect to each other and you can't get out.
No.
Yeah.
So I want to see it mostly because I just want to see what the Wendigoon video is about, but I don't want to like watch it without having seen the movie. And I don't know, I'm the type of person that likes to watch videos that are like this ending explained or things like that. Not even necessarily because I don't understand endings, but I like to see how different people
interpret
things. Yeah.
I like to be proven right. I like to watch a movie and go, this is what the ending meant, and then watch a video and be like, see, I was right.
We did that with the American Psycho one where we were talking about it. I mean, because I was like, obviously that has a very ending that you could interpret different ways. I think for some they would see it as, no, he really did do all those things, and it's like a commentary on like that the world doesn't believe him because he's like rich and stuff.
And he just gets
away with it. But then another way is because of like how he presents and like as not a totally reliable narrator kind of thing, that maybe he literally didn't do any of it and he just imagined it all. So like that kind of stuff, like I just like to see the different ways people interpret it. Yeah.
What is the word that he says? I see. My pain is constant and sharp, and I do not hope for a better world for anyone. Thank you, Patrick Bateman.
Very cool.
Sigma male, Patrick Bateman. The Sigma male stuff is ridiculous. It's so unfunny and bad that it circles around to being hilarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely love those dumb memes. But if you unironically want to be a Sigma male, please go to therapy. I beg you. I actually have a picture of Chancellor Palpatine saying, "Go to therapy, I beg you." I can put that one in there. Inside of you, there are two wolves. One is a Sigma male. The other is a schizophrenic. You need therapy.
You need therapy, yeah.
Or don't go to therapy and just stop doing those things.
Just stop doing those things.
Just stop.
Get some help.
You might not need therapy, but you do need to stop.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more! Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop!
Let's see. I have 3 other things on my list of things to talk about, and we're already approaching an hour, so I'm just going to quickly graze over a couple of these. My notes are the cold weather. Last night it got down to, I believe, -10, and then
it was like -13 when I checked, and that was only at like 8.
Yeah, so in the minus teens, and then with wind chill, it got all the way down to -40 in the feels like category. And then at Mount Washington in New Hampshire, with wind chill, it got all the way down to -100, like 105 or something like that. But below -100, death. You will die if you go out there.
Oh my god.
Very bad, no good, unpleasant
It was
experience.
the type of weather that you step outside and like being out there for 1 second, you're already in pain.
Yeah, we've lived in the North our whole lives. People from other parts of the country, basically, if you're further south than like Pennsylvania, don't speak to me about the winter. You dudes from Georgia be like, "Oh, bro, I love winter. I love winter too, but your winter is 40 degrees. My winter is 40 below." Which, as I said, winter is my favorite season. But by that, I mean I like Christmas, I like football season, and I like when it's 25 degrees and snowy. I don't like when it's minus 40 and even dressing appropriately means it's painful to stand outside.
Yeah.
So.
I was getting out of... Well, okay, so I had walked from one building on campus, then I had to go to my car, and then to where my anatomy lab is, and, like, that was at close to 1 p.m., because it starts at 1, and then it was already cold, and, like, the sun was out at least, and I don't get out till, like, 5, and in the winter, you know, it's usually either getting dark or it might already be dark by 5 or whatever, right?
Depends on the time of year.
It's getting a little bit better now because we're getting closer to spring and stuff, so the sun is up a little bit longer, which is nice, but still, I knew it was going to be colder when I got out of there. So I literally, like, I had a hoodie that I zipped up, and I had a beanie, and I put my beanie on, I put the hood of the hoodie on, and then I put my actual winter jacket on, and I zipped that up, which a lot of times I don't bother zipping them. I just kind of, like, send it all the way to my car, and then I didn't have gloves because I left my gloves in my car, but like everything else, and I even put on a face mask to like protect my face from the wind because it really hurts your face like when it's that cold and that windy. So like all of my upper part and like my legs were covered, so like that was fine. And you know, I had boots on with long socks, so like I was fine, except for my hands were the only thing that was not covered, and literally the instant I stepped outside, like, they started hurting.
Yeah, so it was very cold. Unpleasantly. So, next I have the Chinese spy balloon. I don't know exactly which part of the country it was, but it was, like, the Utah, like, Nevada area or something like that. Allegedly, I don't even think it's confirmed, some Chinese spy balloon, like, literally a hot air balloon. I don't even know how you can look at it and know that it's Chinese. Does it have, like, the CCP flag and, like, Winnie the Pooh is piloting it or something? But either way, allegedly some Chinese spy... It looks like the moon. It looks like the Traveler from Destiny. Just hovering over part of our country for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully... I'm not the Secretary of Defense, but I might have shot that stuff down.
I don't even...
People say things like,
oh my god.
Well, you don't want to get nuked. Neither do they, bro. Don't fly your spyware over me. Sheesh.
I mean, of course, China is like, no, it's for meteorology.
That's the same thing they always say for this type of stuff, whether it's spyware or like an alien or something. And I'm not even going to sit here and tell you that it's aliens, but anytime some strange aircraft is overhead, it's always a weather balloon, always meteorology. I think, wasn't that the explanation for Roswell or something in the 60s? That it was a weather balloon?
But like...
And it's always in this part of the country too.
Even if it was, why would China have a balloon flying over the U.S.? Why do they need to know the meteorology here?
Yeah, and if they weren't, how is it... I would find it very hard to believe that a Chinese weather balloon that was in their part of the world made it all the way over the ocean to get to Utah. Or whatever state it was hovering above. There's a second... Mr. President, there's been a second Chinese surveillance balloon. This one's over Latin America.
Yeah. Which, whenever I have tests on Friday, which I had this week, like I said, I like to get up really early, so I have a little bit of time to look over my notes again and kind of study it again. But I put on the news and I like turn it way down so I don't really hear it. But that's what it was on the news, was like a second spy balloon. I was like, I hadn't even heard of the first one yet, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, so that was wacky and uncharacteristic. Yeah, Montana. That's apparently where it was, and then it made it down to Missouri. I am in Missouri.
Oh yeah.
Incredible. My final note in my app here, I just have Borzoi. Stupid dogs with the long nose. I saw a meme a couple days ago, or probably why it's on here now. Some woman, or actually I believe it might have been a man, was walking with his children and his dog. His dog happened to be a borzoi, or a bozo as we call them. I love the bozo. He was walking with his bozo, and another guy with a pit bull came out, and he lost control of the pit bull, and it started charging at this guy. Possibly to devour his children, I'm not sure.
So,
And he put the kids behind him and let go of his bozo. The bozo...
thank you, very cool.
Thank you, Coffee Maker, for interrupting my story, but the bozo... The borzoi executed that that pit bull. He died.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but maybe don't release
I thought this was
the
about to
pit
be
bull.
a fun story about the memes.
It's about the sheer might of the bozo. They're so goofy looking. They look like skinwalkers almost. I saw a picture of a
They do look
borzoi
silly.
standing on his hind legs. And first of all, doing so, they're like 7 feet tall, and they're very shaggy and have these long noses and spindly legs. They look weird. What's the TikTok meme with them?
The Kermit one?
Yeah.
Why don't I do
Oh,
it?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
No.
Come on, let us have it.
Well, I thought you were gonna sing it. Yeah, not so easy now, is it? Kermit.
Oh, what is it like? Let me do it for you.
Well, it's like, why don't I do it for you? Oh, let me do it for you, Kermit.
Why don't I do it for you? Let me do it for you, Kermit. But it's always really zoomed in on the borzoi's face, and you got the big bulbous eyeballs. And all I can think of with that is Lord Foog the Toast. It's like the first time I ever saw a borzoi with some stupid meme of one wearing like a little princess hat. It's, yeah. And by Toast, I mean like 2ST, like first, but two. Lord Foog the Toast. In short, if your borzoi defeats another dog in combat, that is a certified Foog victory.
He becomes Lord Foog the Toast.
Every borzoi is Lord Foog the Toast. They're avatars of Lord Foog. They're dubious creatures. They're very silly.
Yes. So, that's the borzoi point.
Those are all my notes. We could quickly go to our activity and a Reddit.
Ah, yes.
Am I the asshole?
So I found this. I thought this might be interesting. It says, am I the asshole for not bringing my neurotypical daughter to my sister's wedding due to the autistic child not being invited? That's the thing about like some of the am I the asshole ones is like you read the title and you're like, okay, this is obviously like you're not the asshole or you are, or like people just do it to make themselves feel better. So I try and find the ones that are like, oh, this looks like it might actually be juicy.
Yeah, and you get... I made a face kind of when she read that one out loud. The headline for a lot of these is really usually a bad TLDR. They don't. It's, am I the asshole for hitting somebody? I'm gonna need a little more context from that one, pal.
Yeah. So this one says that my 37 male sister, 29 female, is getting married in June. That's like a pretty big age gap between them. Anyways.
Yeah, 8 years.
Getting married in June. I have 2 daughters. One is neurotypical 7 female and one high needs nonverbal autistic daughter 5 female. My sister made a rule about her wedding, no kids under 5, which I think was a polite way of excluding my disabled child. But it says she is 5, so she's not under 5. Anyways, my wife or myself would have immediately took her outside if she had a meltdown, as my 6-year-old nephew, also neurotypical, just made the cut and gets to go. There's only 2 other children under 5 in the family, no known disabilities yet. I understand her wedding, her choice, but I'm not okay with including one of my daughters but not the other. Problem is, my 7-year-old daughter really wants to go. She's a real girly girl, loves pretty dresses, princesses, fairies, and yes, brides too. She was excited getting to see her aunt in a bridal gown. The last wedding she went to, she was too young to remember. Since it is my sister, I don't feel right missing her wedding, so we are going without the girls, and my in-laws will watch them that night. She's upset she doesn't get to go, and my sister says I'm fostering resentment, but I think I'm teaching my daughter it's not okay to exclude family due to a disability. The way I see it, it's my sister who created the situation, not me. Am I the asshole? And then he corrected it's no kids 5 and under. So that makes sense then.
Initial thoughts?
Well, to be honest, I just feel like it's not necessarily you're excluding the autistic kid, but that, like, generally kids that are, like, toddler age or, like kids, yeah, probably 5 and under can be very unpredictable, whether they're neurotypical or not. Like, toddlers and things throw hissy fits all the time.
Yeah, I would even go so far as to say it's got nothing to do with your daughter being autistic and everything to do with an 8-year-old understands that, hey, you gotta be quiet, means I need to be quiet for a while, whereas a 4-year-old doesn't. You know, you tell a 4-year-old, hey, behave yourself. The likelihood of them actually behaving themselves for the entire event is kind of up in the air.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, I see this a lot on TikTok. There's discourse about this kind of stuff. I mean, not this specifically, but just like having kids at your wedding or not, like allowing kids in. And like, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's crazy that someone wouldn't want young kids at their wedding, because it's, first of all, I think weddings are kind of more of an adult thing anyways. And kids can be very misbehaved and loud, and I mean, not to be that way, but like they can definitely ruin a moment. And I would not want, it's easier to be like, no young kids that will potentially like throw a hissy fit or something like that.
Yeah, and...
Or get up, like, you know, some kids will like get up and then be in the standing in the things and like...
And 5 and under seems like a very reasonable cutoff point.
Yeah.
I don't think it was arbitrarily chosen or specifically chosen to exclude one of your daughters. I would say that 5 seems pretty fair. Like 5 and under is, these kids might be loud and annoying.
Yeah, because like, and I mean, I literally go visit a 3rd grader once a week. Even 3rd graders who they're probably like 8, right? They still act up too. Like they make a lot of noise sometimes, or they don't listen very well sometimes. So like, I think definitely for 5-year-olds it's even harder, or like under. Like the younger they are, the harder it is to control them a lot of the time, and it's just easier to like be like, no, I don't want any of that, because I just don't want to have to deal with it. Like, because then you're relying on the parents to be very good about either keeping them in check or taking them out when they're acting up or this, that, and the other. And like, I wouldn't want to stress about that at our wedding. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to deal with that. I wouldn't want to deal with like a baby crying or something like that, you know? Yeah.
And I understand that the 7-year-old is sad because she wanted to go, but I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing either of them either. I also don't think there would be anything particularly wrong with just bringing the 7-year-old, because, you know, kids 5 and under is, as we said, a pretty fair rule. Like, oh, you get to go because you're a little older. Yay, you know?
Yeah, it's like, you know, if you're a young kid, you can't go on a certain ride at a roller coaster, like, so you could be like, well, the older kid can still go, you know, but not the younger. But also, like, if you don't want to bring both of them, that's fine too. But so I don't think he's like the asshole for not bringing the older one. But also, like, I don't think the sister is really in the wrong for having that rule.
Yeah, it's just,
and I kind of don't think that it's targeting your kid.
Yeah, I don't think it's targeting. I guess I would just say I think this guy's overreacting. I think that your sister is not being malicious in any way, but I also don't think you're an asshole for leaving both your kids home. Like, just to me, it just doesn't seem like a big deal either way. Just leave your kids home.
Yeah.
Okay, you know? And it's a 7-year-old. They get cranky about anything. I know she likes dresses and stuff, but it's a 7-year-old. This one in particular has, I think they're called flares. I don't use Reddit a lot. But this one has a flare that says, not the a-hole. Do you put your own, I don't use a ton of Reddit, so I don't know if you flare your own posts.
I think it just happens when it's been up for long enough and like most of the people have Because I think they probably go off the comments, and like if all the comments are like not the asshole or you are the asshole, that's how I think it works. I don't think they let them flare it themselves.
Though I've seen other subreddits where they require you to flare your own posts.
Maybe.
Like if you were on like gaming subreddit or something, and you were having an issue, I feel like you would need to flare it. You know, PS5. Oh, I can't load my God of War. Like, you would need to flare that with PS5, so people were trying to help you on giving you Xbox solutions.
Well, all the ones I've passed up here are only like been up for a few hours, versus like this one was 12 hours or 21 hours ago.
Oh no. God.
Or do you not want this one?
We can, it's just gross. Okay, let's do it.
Do you want to read it or you want me to?
I can do it.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for forcing my son to use a bidet and threatening to talk to his friends or take him to the doctor about his underwear? For some reason, my 14-year-old son cannot wipe properly. This was never a concern to me as his mom did the laundry. Unfortunately, she is sick right now, so I've taken over the household chores that she used to handle. My son is still responsible for his, and I do mine as well as hers. First day I did laundry, I gagged and almost puked from his underwear. If he were 3 and not fully potty trained, I might understand how they end up like this, but he's a healthy young man. God, do we have to do this one? Can we make a different one? But he is a healthy young man. I don't want to do this.
Fine.
We have...
Someone doesn't want to talk about a poopy ball.
My grandma watches this podcast, bro.
I think she would laugh.
Fine, let's go finish
okay.
it. No, go back and finish it. I'm doubling down. I'm doing the rest of the straight face. Let's go.
Okay.
But he is a healthy young man. He should not be leaving his ass this unwiped. I talked to him about it, and he said he would make an effort to do a better job. Nope. No change in the situation. So I went to the hardware store and installed a wand bidet in the bathroom he uses. We already have one in ours. I told him that he has a choice of either using the bidet or washing his own underwear. He doesn't know how to use the washing machine, and he refuses to do them by hand. How do you not know how to use a washing machine? You're 14. Just teach him. He started going commando. Was just cement. The problem was his jeans now.
Oh no.
So I said that we might need to take him to the doctor to see what's wrong with him, if it's physical or psychological. I also said that the next time his friends are over, I was going to ask them if they left their underwear in the same condition. In caps lock, I would never actually embarrass him like that. He said I was being an asshole and called his mom to tell her what I was doing. She said that he was just like that and I could deal with it until she was better. Enabling. I don't think that's a great plan. If this kid never learns to wipe his ass, he will be bereft of a sexual partner without a poop fetish. I'm not kink shaming him if that's his thing. He has started using the bidet, but he says that it is gross and weird. I said it was grosser and weirder for a 14-year-old to crap his pants every day. We are both stressed about his mom, but this situation isn't because of her. I asked.
Me when my mom's sick, so I start crapping my pants. I'm gonna have to agree with the Reddit on this one.
This is disgusting.
Oh my god, how do you get to be 14 years old like that? Well, obviously the mom was enabling him because she's just been dealing with this and not doing anything about it. So I guess it's probably good that she got sick and the dads took over, because maybe now this kid will actually, like, if you're on TikTok, you might have seen girls talking about guys like not wiping or washing their butts, but I think this is probably worse than a lot of those.
I can't imagine
There's
being
like a next
so
level.
unclean. Well, Michaela, how's my hygiene?
Good.
Thank you. I brush my teeth. I shower 6 days a week. Like, maybe I'll skip Friday night or Saturday night if we're doing something and shower the next day. But I shower at least 6 times a week. And I wipe my ass.
Thank God.
Thank God. I don't know what's okay to say on YouTube and stuff, which is why I've been so hesitant with this. It's obviously hilarious. It's also disgusting, and I worry about saying words like kink shaming on a breakfast podcast that's supposed to be family friendly.
I made no claims about being family friendly.
But I try not to curse and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want the old YouTube algorithm to give it to us.
It's like an hour in. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
You just put like a warning.
Warning. Poop content.
Poop content. YouTube poop.
This is disgusting, and he needs to do better. God.
This is a biohazard and is unacceptable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Pretty gross.
Do better. I'm not somebody who's gonna say I've never used a bidet and they sound weird, but I don't have a biohazard in my.
I think
trunks,
I would.
so.
I think if that at that point, I mean, I would never get to that point, but if it was, I think I would literally be like, "You'd use the bidet, or I'm getting you diapers."
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna be like that, then you're gonna use diapers.
I think my favorite part in that whole bit was when he said he started going commando. Now his jeans are the issue.
Okay, let's do like one.
No,
more.
no, we
no,
gotta-
because we gotta get like one. Because that one was like barely anything. It was mostly just a laugh.
Yeah, it was gross. This one?
You want this one? Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that she needs to learn when to shut the F up?
It doesn't say F, it says the whole word.
I, male 24, have been dating my girlfriend F23, her female 23, for about 5 months. Every other month, my grandmother hosts a large family dinner with all my close relatives. She encouraged me to invite my girlfriend over for the dinner yesterday. For some context, my entire family and I are black, and my girlfriend is from a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant family. I was at the dinner yesterday, and I went to go hang out with my niece, female 7, who I'm very fond of, and the rest of the kids to play Monopoly. My girlfriend tagged along. My niece was counting the play money to pass out to everyone, and one of the other kids said something about how he wanted to be rich and get all the $500 bills. My niece, out of nowhere, blurted out that she couldn't be rich because she's an N-word. I was totally taken aback and asked her who told her that. Apparently some bully at school said that to her on career day when they were sharing dream jobs, and she said she wanted to be a rich president. I told her that wasn't true at all and hugged her, and she started crying. Then my girlfriend jumped in and told my niece that it's really important to forgive the boy who said that because he probably wasn't trying to be mean and was just confused. I was totally shocked and told her she needs to stop trying to justify what happened. She then tried to hush me and started baby talking my niece and said that she should also try to be nicer to all the kids at school because kindness goes both ways. I was totally livid at this point and pulled my girlfriend aside and quietly but angrily told her she needs to learn when to shut the F up. She started getting riled up at me and started rambling about how statistics are on her side. I don't know what the hell she meant. I wasn't really processing what she was saying, but I told her to get out of my grandma's home and just leave already. She drove me here in her car, and I was planning to hitch a ride home with my brother. This morning I got multiple calls from my girlfriend's sisters calling me an abusive and shitty prick. I know my words were harsh, but I thought my girlfriend was talking in a disgusting manner to my niece. Am I the asshole? Which, by the way, the Reddit player is not the asshole, so...
There's a lot to unpack there. We certainly know how to pick them. Yeah, I definitely think that was a whole messed up situation, and obviously telling children they are slurs is bad. But that's not what his girlfriend did. His girlfriend was telling a child not to get too upset about being called slurs, which is also strange. While she's right that you should try to forgive people, I really think you gotta read the room. You know, like, just because the words that might be coming out of your mouth are true does not mean that they need to be said.
That's also like, I think it's a lot different when, like, I don't know. If someone calls you a slur and literally says that, like, you literally couldn't be rich because you're that, like, I think it seems like he knows what he's saying. I think it's more than just I just learned this word yesterday, so I'm going to use it. I
don't know. They're 7 years old. Like, how much could he really know?
But if he's saying that she can't be rich because she's an N-word, like, that's, like, a lot of racism in there.
Or just regurgitating what your parents have said.
Maybe, but still, like, that's really mean to do.
It's terrible. It's a terrible thing to say to somebody.
I also don't think, like, the kindness goes both ways. Like, it's the same. She's pulling the, that little boy's bullying you because he likes you. Like, even if it is true, that's not the proper way or, like, to do that, and it's not what you should teach a young child, because that's how you end up with kids who think that stuff is okay.
Yeah.
When they're older. Like, and then, he hits me, but it's because he likes me.
Yeah. Obviously, stuff like being egregiously mean to people and, God forbid, putting your hands on them like that. That's not a good way to flirt, kids. I would just say that, like, the whole Martin Luther King thing of being kind even when people are mean to you, like, yes, the correct response there is not to lash out and, like, attack him or whatever, but it doesn't seem like the kid did that anyway, and obviously they have every right to be upset about being called mean slurs, like, literally slurs.
Yeah.
It's bad, right? There's no excuse for being called slurs. But anyway, even though I was saying that, like, maybe objectively, yes, you need to be kind and forgive that kid or whatever because he's just a kid, Martin Luther King and all that, why are you saying that in a room full of children? Like, it's not the time and place.
Yeah.
Though, if we were arguing at my parents' house and I told you to shut the F up and get out of this, like, and told you to get in your car and leave, that's also pretty not okay. Like,
but we've also been together.
We have been together
4
longer.
years. They've been together 5 months.
Yes, and that's not cool.
And I've never said anything like that to... I don't know. I feel like if you were... Because, I don't know. The first comment is already, like, weird, but, like, okay, yeah, maybe you should eventually forgive the kid because maybe he was, like, making a mistake.
Just a confused 7-year-old.
Maybe he was repeating stuff that he heard his parents or someone at home say, like, okay. But the second thing of that, she should try to be nicer to all the kids at school, like, what you're assuming that she's, like, being rude to people or something. Like,
it's not necessarily putting the blame on the little girl, but...
It kind of is.
But it, like, kind of is. Like... I don't think she would say that she's putting blame on the little girl, but in a way she definitely is.
So, like, that's how it reads, basically.
Yeah, which
it's
is
like, well, maybe if you were
right.
nicer, they wouldn't do this. It's just, like, all very, like, toxic ways of thinking, I think, and the wrong time. Like, even yeah, maybe you should forgive him, and maybe he just didn't know. Like, it's still not the right time to bring that up.
Yeah, but I also would never be like, you need to shut the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
Like, he... definitely they both should have gone about this differently. I do think the girlfriend was wrong for doing these things, for saying that stuff to a little girl. But I really don't think telling her to shut the F up and get out of your house is the most mature, non-asshole way of responding to that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely isn't, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think he is necessarily, like, the asshole for doing it. I mean, it's not the best way to have handled it, but, like, overall, I understand where he's coming from and why he would be really upset.
Yeah, like, the situation isn't his fault. He did not cause this. I just don't think he responded super greatly to it either.
Yeah.
I think he should probably apologize for speaking that way, but also explain to her why what you did wasn't okay. And then everybody in the comments is calling the girlfriend a racist.
Well, she probably says that she can't be racist because she has a black boyfriend and doesn't have any problems being around black people. But also, I don't know, it does kind of seem like a red flag that she said that statistics are on her side when dealing with, like, a black family.
No, she said that statistically being nicer to people makes these issues go away. That's probably what she meant.
I don't know, I feel like people talk about black people and statistics.
Yeah, but
not.
I don't think every time you say the word statistics around a black person it has to be that way.
I think it might be. Maybe. I don't know. Obviously, we don't really know how she is otherwise, but definitely.
Oh, jeez. Let's not even... reading the Reddit comments is a good way to get brain damage, so let's avoid doing that.
Oh, wait. That's right. I have to stop it like this.
It's been quite the eventful Reddit foray.
Yes.
Real breakfast hours, baby. We get a little crazier every week.
A little crazier every week. Stick around for next week.
Next week will be cockfighting. Like roosters and stuff.
I was like, what?
What is wrong with you?
Listen, I don't know. I was not expecting that to just pop out. Next week, we'll be sacrificing someone.
Next week we'll be, doing any manner of things that you should bleep out. On that note, thank you for watching.
Just cut it right there.
Yeah, we're done. God.
No, but for real, thank you for watching. Make sure to leave comments. Send us your breakfast. For real.
If we don't get breakfast submissions from people that are not Crollo or Jugs, we're going to start name dropping you guys. Like, hey, Tom, send us your breakfast.
Well, maybe we should. There's which YouTuber is it that goes, hey, and then they just like say a random name.
We could.
Anyways, that's really about to start being a thing where I just go, hey, send us your breakfast. Yes. So thank you for watching. Make sure you send us your breakfast. Leave comments. If you have something you want us to try next week, maybe a personality test or a quiz, or you want some advice, make sure you send it our way. You can submit your breakfast either, of course, if you are one of our friends, just text it to me or Mike or whatever. Or if you're not, send it on my Instagram. I'll put it on the screen at Mickey_Gervais. DM me a picture of your breakfast and we'll put it in the next episode. Like, comment, subscribe.
Hit the little bell, all that stuff.
The little bell.
Leave a comment. Please leave comments.
Please
I love reading comments. You guys are so articulate.
What? But yeah, so we'll see you next week.
Bye. Sam it. Let me meme on you. Kermit. The One Piece. Hold on. The One Piece. The One Piece is real.
Wow, that's going in the bloopers.
I could definitely do a better one than that one.
Go ahead.
Do I want to do the stupid, like, the Fiverr, the One Piece, that one, or do I want to do actual Whitebeard? Probably just the Fiverr one.
I guess.
The One Piece. The One Piece is real.
The One Piece! The One Piece is real! Can we get much higher? So high!
So good.
Spot on, I think.
Spot on, I think.
So true.
Okay, I'll wait for you to be done. Wow.
Okay. All right, Jan.
You? What? Okay.
I'm ready. Yup. That's balls.